Overlook your leadership specifically and your impact on the team from like a chemistry standpoint, because there's just so many narratives. So like, do you think people are overlooking that?
She made the All-W first team. I don't think anyone's overlooking what Kelsey Mitchell did this year. I'm not gonna lie.
A mysterious social media post and a crushing injury just drive basketball's biggest sensation to the edge of ditching the Indiana Fever. The so-called Caitlin Clark effect dragged in millions of new fans and a spotlight so blinding it's now scorching her own team's foundation. But after jaw-dropping remarks and a veteran's haunting farewell, it seems the pressure has cracked so deep that Clark's loyalty to Indiana could be seconds from snapping. It began with a post that hit less like a farewell and more like a gut-wrenching blow. Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever's emotional core, dropped a dramatic season-ending message online. She spoke of pain, resilience, and a journey that had to be walked alone. Most strikingly, the three-time All-Star hinted at goodbye, making it painfully obvious her time in Indianapolis might be ending as her contract expired. It stunned Fever fans everywhere. Clark's response, a short, heartfelt line about being lucky to share the court with Mitchell, spoke louder than any press release. It solidified their connection and underscored the gravity of it all, proving this wasn't your average end-of-season moment. What turns this post into a full-blown ticking time bomb is the brutal truth behind Kelsey Mitchell's contract. She's not just any player, she's an unrestricted free agent, which means those cryptic words weren't random drama. They were a warning shot. The Indiana Fever front office now faces a nightmare choice: throw a massive payday at the veteran who held the team together, or gamble on losing her and leave Caitlin Clark stuck on a roster missing its only steady flame. While Clark was sidelined for weeks with groin and ankle injuries, it was Mitchell who carried the load, dragging the team forward and proving she was absolutely irreplaceable. Losing that kind of leader would unleash chaos inside an already fragile locker room, and the cracks were already showing, sparked by a sneaky little MVP controversy. During Clark's absence, Mitchell went on a tear that had the league in disbelief. Teammate Sophie Cunningham was the first to say the quiet part out loud. Mitchell, she claimed, should have been MVP. And though she politely added it wasn't a jab at winner A'ja Wilson, that comment alone poured gasoline on a growing fire of tension. Who's really running this show? The rookie phenomenon or the battle-tested veteran who's been here all along? And is Caitlin Clark's blinding superstardom quietly erasing the grind and glory of Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever's longtime cornerstone? That's the million-dollar tension ripping through Indiana's locker room. The optics? Absolutely disastrous for team chemistry. Picture this: a rookie swimming in national headlines, endorsement deals, and non-stop media hype, while a veteran who's bled for the franchise suddenly fades into the shadows. Mitchell wasn't just good this season, she was historically dominant, single-handedly carrying an offense that lost its primary playmaker, and proving, game after game, she was the number one option. Yet the spotlight never shifted. All the talk stayed glued to Clark's comeback, while Mitchell's brilliance was treated like background noise. It's the kind of imbalance that poisons a locker room, because while Clark's fame is lifting the entire league and rewriting WNBA history, that same stardom is also creating an invisible pecking order no veteran can ignore. The question was never about whether Kelsey Mitchell earned her flowers. She absolutely did. The real drama was whether the Indiana Fever could juggle these colliding storylines without the locker room turning toxic. But just when things couldn't get messier, the spotlight swung straight toward the coaching staff. Rumors started buzzing about the front office's true commitment to Mitchell, fueled even more by her shocking end-of-season revelation. Turns out, the veteran had battled rhabdomyolysis, a brutal muscle breakdown condition, which she jokingly pinned on Coach Stephanie White's insane workload, dubbing it flat-out overuse. Funny or not, that joke hit hard. It exposed just how far Mitchell pushed her body to keep the Fever alive. Mix that with whispers of White favoring her homegrown veteran, and fans started asking the question nobody wanted to touch. Is this really Caitlin Clark's team? Or has she just been bolted onto Kelsey Mitchell's kingdom? And let's be clear, rhabdomyolysis isn't a minor bruise. It's a dangerous medical condition that happens when muscle tissue breaks down and leaks toxins into the bloodstream. The fact that Mitchell developed it mid-season says everything about how far she went and how broken this system might be. Suddenly, real questions started swirling about workload management, training methods, and whether the Indiana Fever were grinding their veterans into the ground just to stay afloat while Caitlin Clark was injured. Sure, Kelsey Mitchell joked about her body breaking down, but behind that humor was a clear message. She was being pushed past her limit, and her body finally gave out. That leaves Coach Stephanie White trapped in an impossible balancing act, trying to win games with a roster still learning how to function, juggling the immense expectations of coaching a generational star and keeping her veterans, who remember the pre-Clark era, motivated and respected. Every substitution, every play call, every single minute becomes a political statement. Is this Clark's team, with Mitchell merely a supporting act, or is it a co-leadership built on mutual respect? One wrong move, and she risks splitting the locker room right down the middle. And now, all those cracks are starting to circle back to Clark herself. Mitchell's looming contract drama, the MVP whispers, and questions about the coach's loyalty have all fused into a storm that's reaching its breaking point. Talk of Clark's possible exit isn't just gossip anymore, it's real. In her exit interviews, Clark subtly laid her cards on the table. She spoke about this being the most important era in league history, but her real focus was relationships with management, with her coach, and with her teammates. Translation? Her loyalty to Indiana isn't unconditional. It hinges entirely on a healthy, united locker room. If Mitchell walks in free agency or the MVP tension keeps festering, Clark's patience is done. She's already drawn her line in the sand. A fractured culture is a deal breaker. So, the Fever's biggest question isn't whether Clark can win them a title. It's whether she's about to use her growing power to demand change. Or demand a ticket out of town, because Caitlin Clark knows exactly what she's worth. And if Indiana can't match her vision for a winning, drama-free culture, she won't hesitate to find a franchise that will... Exactly. And what you've written here deepens the drama beautifully. This section moves the story beyond locker room tension into the business and systemic pressures shaping every decision the Fever make. Here's how you could tighten and elevate this passage into a powerful, documentary-style segment that connects Caitlin Clark's influence, financial impact, and organizational tension, while keeping that cinematic storytelling tone. But there's another layer to this crisis, one that stretches far beyond the locker room. It's the business reality of modern women's basketball. The WNBA is booming. Television ratings are shattering records. Attendance is through the roof. And make no mistake, Caitlin Clark is the epicenter of it all. Her arrival didn't just change the Fever, it changed the economy of the league. In Indiana, the numbers are staggering. Television viewership for Fever games has multiplied several times over. Ticket sales have exploded, with sellouts not just at home but in arenas across the country. Merchandise bearing Clark's name has become some of the best-selling gear in all of women's sports. Sponsorship deals that once trickled in modestly now pour in by the millions. Every key metric, revenue, engagement, brand value, has skyrocketed since the day Clark was drafted. But success like that doesn't come without a cost. The Fever suddenly find themselves sitting on a financial goldmine, but that goldmine comes with pressure. Ownership wants immediate results. Sponsors expect winning seasons. Fans demand championships. The franchise now faces an impossible balancing act. Spend aggressively to build a contender right now while Clark is still on her rookie deal. Or take a slower, more sustainable path and risk wasting the prime years of the most marketable player the sport has ever seen. Even the team's infrastructure is under the microscope. Other franchises are investing in cutting-edge training facilities, sports science departments, and development staff that rival NBA standards. Meanwhile, Indiana's setup, while respectable, suddenly looks outdated. If Clark looks around the league and sees organizations going all in on their athletes, what message does it send if her team doesn't match that energy? Then there's the coaching dilemma. Stephanie White was brought in for her player development and tactical brilliance, but now she's walking a tightrope. She must balance Mitchell's veteran pride with Clark's superstar trajectory, mold role players into reliable contributors, and still deliver wins to satisfy an impatient fan base that expects playoff basketball now. It's a nearly impossible equation. Keep veterans happy. Develop the next face of the league. Manage egos. Deliver results. Because one wrong decision, one broken promise, one losing streak could give Caitlin Clark exactly the reason she needs to start imagining life. Somewhere else, would you like me to continue? The next part, where this tension leads into the tipping point, Clark's potential power move, front office shakeup, or rumors of a trade exit. I can write that next scene to flow seamlessly from this one.